Hi, it's Janet and welcome to my channel. This is where you can be inspired, learn new techniques, and pick up some new tips and tricks. Get started by subscribing and clicking on the bell. Hi everyone, it's Janet and welcome to my channel. Well, today is an exciting day because I am participating and bringing to you a hop sponsored by the Not Too Shabby shop. The hop, it has a lot of things going on, but there's a lot of artists involved, and you'll want to go to my video description below this video to pick up information on how to enter for a giveaway that's being done, and also to find the next creator that you can go to see the next video using the Not Too Shabby shop stamps. But it's not exciting enough that we are using these wonderful images. This hop is really focusing on how to build scenes for your cards, and it just happens to be that in those scenes we are placing these stamps. So you'll find a lot of good ideas. I bet there will be some things you've never thought of between all of the people who are showing their work, and I hope to inspire you to try some new things, or maybe try something you haven't before or something you haven't thought of. We'll see. Hopefully you'll like what I've done. But anyway, it is the owner's designs under their store name, and these are all fall and Halloween related. So let's get going with our cards. The first one I'm going to show you demonstrates how you can create a scene using a print and cut image. Now this one comes from Cricut Design Space, but you can get them from other sources as well and use your various machines for them. I used a stamp set right here. It's called Me and Pumpkin Spice, and what I wanted to do is create a scene with either a coffee cart or a coffee truck, and this was a design I found that I thought worked great. So this is a larger card. It's 5 by 7 and a half, no, it's 5.5 by 7, I think, if I got that right. And so what I did is I stamped all the images I wanted to use, colored them with Copics, and then began arranging them. Now to start with, for my scene, before I put my coffee truck down, I put down some brick washi tape, and this way it looks like our coffee truck is sitting on a street. And then in the background you'll notice some clouds peeking through. These were created using a cloud stencil and some broken china oxide ink. So you get that little, the whole scene built that way. Then I started nestling in my characters. I have the Not Too Shabby shop girl, the two little squirrels, and then I've got a little coffee cup here that the one squirrel's offering to the other, and they're kind of nestled in the large pumpkin spray that comes in the set. The coffee is always better with a friend. Does not come in this particular set. It comes in another one, and I'll show you that one. This set is called Pumpkin Spice Everything. And so there's that sentiment. So that's from there. But inside I carried the washi tape, the coffee cups, and then did the You Had Me at Pumpkin Spice. So that's that one. A nice easy way to quickly create a scene. The second one I'm going to show you is a scene created with a little bit of inking, but mostly from dyes. And in this case I used a dye to create the hilly grass and also this focal point of the Polaroid, which I then built the characters around. So a Polaroid doesn't really, fit, you wouldn't think, into a scene like this of grass and trees, but it's a fantasy type card. Obviously we don't really have gnomes, and so you can use a focal point and arrange the smaller characters around it to fill the card and give it cohesiveness. So this stamp set is called Shabby Fall Gnomes. It's so cute. So in this case I colored up and then cut out the large gnome, the small gnome. These cute mushrooms come from that set. We've got the pumpkin, the acorns, and then the sentiment, no matter what. That is this with no matter what stamped inside. It fits just perfectly. And then also to create a little bit more of a scene, we've got these little dots at the bottom. This signifies like a little bit of dirt. And so I put that underneath the gnomes, around the mushrooms there, and then right in the center, just to kind of, bring it all the way through the bottom of the card. Then inside I've got a little bit of washi again and that larger pumpkin. I used washi tape around the edges too to give it that little bit of rainbow edging around the card, which to me kind of fit well with the gnome idea. So there you go. That is this one. Now, all right, here is my last card, and this is a fun one. It uses the set called Critter Costume Party, and look how adorable all these characters are. Awesome and so cute. So this obviously is a slimline card, and let me tell you how I made it. It's much more complex, many more steps, so I'm going to try as quickly as I can to go through them. There's a lot to it, but I think you'll agree that the background result is awesome. So here's how you do it. First of all, I cut a rectangle that was going to be slightly larger than I knew my inked panel was going to be. Then what I did is I used some antique linen distressed ink and just applied it really lightly over the entire front of that panel. Not heavily, just lightly. Then I went ahead and cut out with my punch a circle, and I applied some two-way adhesive to that so that it could be removable once it dried. Once that dried, I applied it on my card, and that's what created the mask for my moon. Then everything I applied after that went over the top of that mask, and that's why my moon, it looks yellow instead of purple like everything else. So with that mask in place, then I started working on the purple background. To do that, I used my cloud template again, which I highly recommend to you guys. If you don't have a good cloud template, you need to get one because you can use it for lots of things. Like this, you can't really tell it was clouds particularly, but it did create a lot of shading and things that makes this background work. So anyway, getting back to this, I used Wilted Violet over the top initially, and you would not believe how much that antique linen interacts with the purples to create different levels of purple. So that's why I used it. It just makes a more interesting and shaded background with more depth and dimension. So once I applied that, then I used Blueprint Sketch and put a few clouds in with that. So you can see that in the corner, you see it over here. A lot of it's covered up by my rabbit, and then down here you see some more of the blue. That's what gives it the more intense purple look. Then finally I used some black soot and applied that at the bottom pretty heavily, and that's to create you know, kind of a ground for the characters to stand on here. Once that was done, then I began to finish this background. The first thing I did was applied some water droplets and just applied it to that distressed ink background, and then you know, picked up that moisture with a paper towel. And that's what creates kind of these bleached looking spots, which kind of act like stars in a way. But I wanted it to be more dramatic, so then I took out my star stencil and I applied Deco transfer gel to the stencil to create the star shapes. Then once that dried, I could use the Deco foil over the top and ran it through my laminator, and that's how I get my super shiny stars, which I think turned out great. Once that was done, then I could remove the moon mask, and then I brought this back in, just set it over the top of, you know, this circle area, and then I used a torn piece of cardstock, placed it over the top, used my antique linen, and just did shading strips across my moon, and that's why you see, you know, some darker shading across that moon, is by using this torn strip to do that. So that kind of finished the whole background. Now it was time to stamp, color, and cut out my characters, and I fussy cut all these guys. I also did some heat embossing for the sentiments, and then I arranged everything on the card. So that's how we got this finished look. Alright everybody, that is the end of my cards for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, be sure you check my video description for information on how to get into the drawing and where the next card designer is in the hop. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you'll visit me again and consider subscribing, and have fun with this hop. See you soon. Bye.